We're going to talk about dividing polynomials, but first let's practice our long division. So if you remember, 3 goes into 3 goes into 6 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6, and then we subtract. We get 0. Moving on, 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. When I subtract, I get 0. 3 goes into 3 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3. Again, when I subtract, I get 0. Our answer is 231. What if we have a remainder? Let's talk about that. 4 goes into 7 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4. When I subtract, I get 3. Bring down the 2. 4 goes into 32 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. When I subtract, I get nothing. Bring on down the 9. 4 goes into 9 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. When I subtract that, I get 1 left over. Some of you write remainder 1. That's not really appropriate at this point in our math career, so our answer is 182. The remainder is 1. We're going to write that as a fraction, and it's 1 over 4. The 4 comes from right over there. So this is our answer. Let's try dividing polynomials by a monomial. See, I've got this monomial out here. X goes into x to the third power, x squared. Where did that come from? Remember, your x on the outside here is to the power of 1. If I just subtract my exponents, 3 minus 1 gives me 2. And that's the exponent that you see right up there. How many times does x go into x squared? Let's just look at the variables. Well, again, I subtract my exponents. 2 minus 1 is 1, so I know I need an x to the first power, whether you write that little power up there or not. And how many times does 1 go into 4? 4 times. Positive. How many times does 1 go into 5? 5 times. And what's the difference of our exponents? 1 minus 1 is 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1, so 1 times 5 is 5. So our answer is x squared plus 4x plus 5. You can always check this by taking your answer and multiplying it by what you were dividing. And go ahead and distribute. You'll get x cubed plus 4x squared plus 5x. So we're getting back what we started with here, but right here is our answer. All right, let's try again. So we've got 3x goes into 6x. 3 goes into 6 twice. And I've got an x to the first going into x third. Subtract your exponents, you get x to the second power. 3 goes into 3 positive 1 time. Subtract your exponents, you get to the first power. 3 goes into negative 12 negative 4 times. Subtract your exponents, I'm left with nothing. Moving on. 4 goes into 12 3 times. Y goes into y to the fourth. Subtract your exponents. Y to the third power. 4 goes into negative 16 negative 4 times. Subtract your exponents. Last time, 4 goes into 20 positive 5 times. Y goes into y squared. Subtract your exponents. I'm left with just a y. Last example. Negative 5 goes into 15 negative 3 times. Subtract your exponents. Negative 5 goes into negative 10 2 times. Subtract your exponents. Negative 5 goes into negative 20 4 times. So that's a positive 4. Subtract your exponents. When I'm dividing with a binomial, things get a little bit trickier, and it's really important that I write down my long division, and also that I make sure that my original terms are in descending order. So my exponents should be decreasing. So let's see. So follow my steps on this one. So we're going to start with the x. X goes into x squared, x times. Now from here, I'm going to distribute my x to both things out here. So I do x times x, that's x squared. X times negative 1 is negative 1x. Wrap it in parentheses so that you can subtract. What I mean by that is we're going to have to subtract term from term, and I want to make sure I don't just subtract the x squared, but I'm also subtracting the negative 1x. X squared minus x squared is 0. That's good. And then I have 2x minus a negative 1x. Keep change on those negative x and the subtraction sign, so I really get 3x. Bring on down the minus 3. And we're going to go ahead and start our division one more time. So let me erase up there and just put that x there. How many times does x go into 3x? Positive 3 times. All right, now we're going to take that 3 and distribute it. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times the negative 1 is negative 3. Wrap it in parentheses so you can subtract. 3x minus 3x is 0. And let's see, a negative 3 minus a negative 3. Keep change is also 0. No remainders left over. Our answer is x plus 3. Let's try some more. X goes into x squared, x times. Distribute. X times x is x squared. X times negative 1 is a negative 1x. Put it in parentheses so you can subtract. X squared minus x squared is 0. 2x minus 1x is 3x. Bring down the minus 2. Let's try dividing all over again. So let me erase those little rainbows. How many times does x go into 3x? Positive 3 times. Now distribute 3. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Wrap it in parentheses so you can subtract. You'll hear me say that quite often. 3x minus 3x is 0. What's negative 2 minus negative 3? So let's write it down here. We've got negative 2 minus negative 3. Keep change. I get a positive 1. Ooh, that's a remainder. So do I write R1? No. What we're going to do is write it as a fraction. 1, and it's a positive 1, so we're going to write plus 1 over this stuff over here, x minus 1. Moving on. 2 goes into 2x squared. Let's see, 2 goes into 2 one time. X goes into x squared. Subtract your exponents. So it's just x to the first. Now we're going to distribute that. 1x times 2x is going to be 2x to the second power. 1x times negative 3 is going to be a negative 3x. Put it in parentheses and subtract. 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. We should see those first terms drop out like that. And then I have 11x minus a negative 3x. So 11x minus a negative 3x. Keep change, so we should get 14 x's. Bring on down the minus 9. 2x goes into 14x 7 times. When I subtract my exponents, I'll see it's just 7. And I'm going to take my 7 and distribute it. 7 times 2 is 14x. 7 times negative 3 is a negative 21. Wrap it in parentheses so you can subtract. Let me erase this little bit down here. 14x minus 14x is 0. And let's write it down. Negative 9 minus negative 21. Keep change. So I think we get a 12 as a remainder. So we write that up here. Plus 12 over 2x minus 3. And you will not be able to simplify your remainder with what you're dividing. Like this part here is not able to be simplified at all. So you would just leave it just like that. I think I have a wrong number here. Let me see. 2x goes into 11. What did I do? Oh, this was a 7. I erased it. There we go. That's better. All right, let's try again. 3x goes into 9x. Let's see, 3 goes into 9 3 times. X goes into x squared just once. Distribute. 3 times 3x is your 9x squared. And 3x times negative 4 is negative 12x. Wrap it in parentheses so you can subtract. 9x squared minus 9x squared is 0. 6x minus negative 12. Let's write it down. 6x minus negative 12. Keep, change, change. So I think I get 18 x's there. Bring on down the 8, and we'll try dividing all over again. How many times does 3x go into 18x? I think it goes in 6 times. Distribute. 6 times 3x is your 18x, and 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. Put it in your parentheses so you can subtract. 18x minus 18x is 0. 8 minus negative 12. Let's write that down. 8 minus negative, 24. Keep, change, change. I think we get a remainder of 32. So we get plus 32 over 3x minus 4. Now you may be wondering, well, what if this number down here, what if this number down here was negative? If this 32 was negative, I would see a negative sign right in there. Since it's positive, I'm going to do plus. We do want to have a symbol in there, though, so make sure you have a symbol when you are working here in between there. All right, why don't you go ahead and try dividing with your polynomials. I'll put your answer key up here so you can self-check.